Welcome back to Sidekicked, a Marvel Champions podcast, where we're all about the Allies. We'll teach you who they are in the comics, discuss their cards, and what kind of decks they might be played in. I'm one of your hosts, Jason Sketch, and with me is...
Oh, is it my turn?
Yes, sir.
Sorry. I forgot I didn't have the show notes up. Levi Lewis!
And?
I'm Levi Lewis!
I think Dirt Mosh Pit? Dirt Tornado? Earth Twister. Sorry, my bad. I'm Earth Twister.
Mr. Twisty's Twisted Cheese Curls.
My gosh, how are you guys doing today? Welcome back to the podcast. Y'all doing all right?
I'm doing pretty good.
I'm tired. I had a long day, but it was a good day.
Good. Yeah, we just met like 2 days ago. Recorded 2 days ago. Why are we here on a Saturday?
Why are we here again?
This is weird.
I'm so sick of this.
I hate seeing Levi's face in the morning.
Specifically
Morning.
when I have clothes on.
It's definitely evening.
Oh, it's
Well-
good grief. Shows you how long my day's been.
I'm super excited for today, guys.
Yeah, it's 8:27 at night.
It
Just to
is.
clarify.
As our viewers maybe have noticed, this is a 0.5 episode, which we have not done before. This is going to be a episode outside of our regularly scheduled program, in which we'll talk about the LEDT today. So no ally for this episode. Sorry, guys. However, we will have 3 special guests with us.
I had
You
an
excited for
ally
that?
prepared. Come on now.
Is one of the guests a wombat?
If they want to be, it is 2026 if they choose to be. So,
If they identify
Right.
as one,
that's it.
Hello? Who's that?
Well, that's our first guest. We know him. You all love him. Levi's clamoring for his title every day. Solo Marvel Champion. Welcome in, Solo. How you doing, buddy?
hello, I'm doing fantastic. How are you guys doing?
Doing
As you
good.
can
It's
tell.
Amazing!
a little out of sorts, but we're doing well.
we weren't ready for this.
No,
Sounds
we're
like
not, I guess.
Nope. I still don't have the show notes.
I sent it to you in recording discussions. Check it out there.
What's a show note?
Oh my gosh. Well, we have 2 more guests. Let's introduce them as well. And they have not been on the show yet and are probably a little dumbfounded by our shenanigans. They've been with us for 15 minutes and are probably like, wow, okay, here we go. But let me say this, they're 2 fantastic content creators, and we have the privilege of getting to work with them through the LEDT, which has been super awesome. We're not going to do any interview questions with them today because we're hoping to have them again in the show in the future, individually, so we can interview them more personally then. So be watching for those episodes in the future, guys. But everyone, please welcome in Abby's Mall and MC Deck Discussions, from MC Deck Discussions. And my name is Jeff from Facing the Encounter. How you guys doing?
Doing great.
Good. Hello. How are you?
Doing well. Earth Twister Levi, you're going to welcome in our guests here, or say hello?
Welcome.
Welcome back to Sidekick, the Marvel Champions podcast, where we're all about the Allies.
Well, so you
man.
who they are in the comics. Wait.
No allies tonight. Just focusing on the LEDT.
No, I'm excited that these guys are here.
Good.
3 guests at once? That's more than 1 guest at once.
That is more than one
It's
guest
good
at
math.
once.
This is why he can play Marvel Champions. Oh my gosh. Well, tonight, as we mentioned, we're going to discuss our experiences with the LEDT. Earth Twister and Levi Lewis are going to be asking us questions, helping us that way. So they'll prompt a question so we can have a discussion about it. And we'll carry on a conversation together. And so we're pretty fluid around here. So if you guys feel like you need to add input or jump in, don't be afraid to. We can also do a raised hand method if we prefer to do that, though I haven't done that since high school. So whatever you guys prefer. Yes, Jeff. Oh, okay.
He was just testing you.
He's just testing the raised hand method.
I was
Awesome.
just testing it. Just wanted to see.
I don't even do raised hands in my online classes.
Oh, you do or you don't?
No, we don't. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, perfect. So there's plenty of room for conversations then. But yeah, I know you guys have all been waiting for us to do this, so let's jump in.
Hold up. Hold the phone. Before we jump in, what the heck is an LEDT? Or let's just call it a LEDT.
Let it.
Is that like the word debt, where there's the silent B, so maybe it'd be just let.
Yes,
Right,
it's
yeah.
silent D,
I
it's
think it's a very pronounceable D.
Let it.
LEDT.
It sounds like somebody that's
Legend.
tripping over a crack or something, and kind of do that tumbling in a cartoon. Lit.
the sound you make.
LEDT, right? Let's do some LEDT.
Let's do some LEDT. Oh my gosh.
We're on to
Oh, man.
something
Well-
there. Sounds like a franchise.
Yeah, it could get interesting. But Mr. Solo, would you mind explaining what is an LEDT?
Yeah, LEDT, there's actually a lot to unpack there. LEDT is short for Limited Environment Draft Tournament. And both that description and that abbreviation was created by your very own Jason Sketch. He's been using that, and it's just really catchy, really easy to say, really easy
Yes.
to remember.
Super easy to say LEDT.
It is super easy to say, just let it be, man.
Let it be.
There it is. Let it be.
So, LEDT combines two things. The T is the tournament, and Abby Small came up with the tournament. He had some ideas for that, and way before we even knew what the term limited environment was, I was bugging Jeff saying, hey, I really want to do like this draft where we just get a bunch of people together and we draft packs, and then we can only build decks using the stuff we drafted. And I had no idea why we would do that. It would just be cool to do. And then just a month ago, 2 months ago, I was talking with Abby Small, and he brought up the tournament, and I went, oh, that gives us a reason to do a limited environment draft. So we can just marry these together and draft for the tournament. And that's really where it came from. And it has been a lot of fun.
Sounds like a really good time.
What are the rules? I can't remember. Did we preset the rules ahead of time, or did we come up with those together?
I was kind of going off of some rules that Abby Small had made for the tournament, and I just kind of changed them a little bit. And then as we were going, we were, adjusting them and kind of building them together. And then even during season 1, we were working on season 2 rules. And I hope that wasn't too confusing for anyone, because we were talking about that for season 2, and then some people were like, is that for season 1 or for next season, or what are we doing? So, yeah, we worked on them for both season 1 and season 2 while we were playing season 2, or season 1 rather.
We're well seasoned.
Yes.
We are well-seasoned, limited environment drafters and tournament goers.
So, with that in mind, I know I said Levi and Earth Twister would ask questions, but these were ones that we had initially in the in our show notes here. How did you come up with the tournament rules initially, Abby Small? Was it something you experienced before, or is it?
No, I had been thinking, because most of my engagement in this game really is from creating content and then engaging with others who also create content. Like, it made me a part of the community in a bigger way by doing so. And I just thought, what would make it even more engaging is to be part of a tournament where we're all, doing something fun together and kind of competing in this game that used to be a completely non-competitive game. But the version that we're all playing, a non-competitive game, but we've, finding a way to make it competitive, yet still a way that you're just kind of playing on your own and not having to depend on getting together with other people. You could just play each game independently and then just kind of report the results. So that's where it came from. And it came in the middle of when I was emailing back and forth with Solo. And then I just kind of put together some ideas, and then he happened to email me back another time, and I said, oh, I put this thing together a couple of weeks ago. Maybe you'd like to look at it since you're talking about a draft. and then so that's where that kind of came from.
Very cool. I know it has definitely been a cool, like you've mentioned, Earth Twister. It sounds awesome. It was great to get the email, or I guess the Discord message and messages to start this up and kick it off. And so it's been a fun ride. I've gotten to get to know you guys. I think you've been able to do what you were hoping to accomplish there, Abby, as well as making more connections with other creators. I honestly hadn't seen your content before this, and so through this tournament, I've gotten to know you a lot better. It's been a blast getting to watch your stuff and becoming more familiar with you specifically. Of course, everybody else as well, but I think you were able to accomplish that goal, which is awesome.
Yeah, and in a way, I wasn't expecting it to just suddenly take off. And of course, Solo, as we all know, he's a doer. He makes things happen, right? So, and as soon as he saw that he could facilitate what he wanted to have happen combined with this, then he just put it. He just started contacting people and made it all go.
So a point on that I want to say is kind of funny. I had talked about it a little bit on my channel, and Jason jumped in the comments. He's like, man, this sounds really fun. And I'm like, I'm glad you think so, because you can be our number 4. We need 4 people.
Sounds like a cool idea. Good. I'm going to send you a message right now, and you're starting next week.
Go check Discord right now, because you're in.
The votes have been casted. Very cool.
Must be nice to feel cool, Jason.
To be included.
I specifically said, but not Earth Twister and not Levi. I don't want those guys. Jason, he's in. And also, we already had 3 more, so we only had space for 4. But if we had space for 6, I would have said not those guys.
Marvel Champion podcast.
Oh my gosh. Very cool. There was, and I will say this: we didn't come around to it, and it may have been more. We talked about it more towards the end, but I had considered asking you two to be like the ones that gather the points at the end and talk about. Oh, and this week you should have watched My Name Is Jeff's crazy play against Captain America when he socked him in the face, and doing
and then
kind of like
Jason. Womp womp.
Exactly. Yeah.
Losing every game out there.
I actually. Yeah, we'll talk more about that. I think I did more losing than I did winning in the tournament.
I'm still a game behind. I gotta finish that up tomorrow.
That's true. But you already have more points than me, and I've completed all 6 of my games, or 8 of my games, so... Oh, man.
You feel terrible.
It's all right. I learned a lot through it, so...
If you thought the Iron Man, or if you thought the Captain America fight was cool, I actually enjoyed the ending to the Iron Man one, because I got to do what I wanted to do when I built it.
Ooh. That sounds great. I do need to go back and finish that video, so I have not done that yet.
I'll let you watch it, and then you can ping me at night. We can talk about it and giggle.
Let's go. All right. Well, anything else we want to talk about like the history of leading up to the tournament before we jump into some questions? Or very cool.
I don't think so.
All right, Levi and Earth Twister, I'm going to leave it up to y'all's wisdom to decide how you want to ask questions and which order you want to ask questions. All that fun stuff.
Levi, should we go into a separate room and discuss this?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Okay, we're back.
Levi, your answer.
Through the magic of editing, they were gone for 82 minutes, but now we're back. All right.
Yeah, we played like 3 games of Marvel Champions. It was great. Y'all missed out.
In 82 minutes? That's fast. So how did the draft go? How did the draft go? And did you like the process?
I loved it.
Yeah, I was going to say that even before, I've been playing this game since close to the beginning of when it came out. And just even starting at the draft, I was already having the most fun I'd had playing Marvel Champions. And I wasn't even playing yet. So I actually enjoyed the draft a lot. I thought it was really cool the way that worked out. So I guess we should get into like the actual process of the draft a little bit, huh? Solo would be the expert there, probably.
I think I'm an expert in nothing, so...
Oh.
I think you're an expert in playing games faster than anybody else in the history of this game.
I play games really fast, but it makes me mess up a lot, too. I've made so many mistakes because I play fast. But I do like playing fast because it makes my uploads faster. It makes my video shorter. I like to be able to make a video that you can watch over your lunch break. So that's why I play fast. But it really does mess me up sometimes. And sometimes I'll be playing so fast that I've forgotten what I've already done. And you can hear it in some videos. I'll like stumble and go, I don't know what I was doing there, or I don't know if I actually did this one thing or not. And there are loads of videos where I just stop and start over again because I've gotten, into a really long turn, and can't remember what I did at the beginning of the turn. Like, did I flip up from Alter Ego this turn? I don't even know at this point. So I'll just stop and delete that and start recording again. So there are some advantages to recording fast, but there are some disadvantages to doing that too.
But the draft tournament, right? So the drafting part, I think we were doing a snake draft.
Yep. I called it a snakeback draft, and later I found out there's a proper term for it, which basically means the same thing. It's just a serpentine draft. And that's what you do. You snake through your rounds, but it's there is a proper term for it, and it is serpentine draft. And then I worked on the season 2 rules and called it that in the season 2 rules. I just didn't know that term when we were doing the initial draft. So I did call it snakeback, but it is a serpentine draft.
And our order was
a lot of fun.
chosen randomly there too, so that was nobody knew who was going to pick first.
The order was random, and I just had fun with it because I don't know about you guys, but I had a whole list, just like when you're doing like an NFL draft. I don't know if you guys play fantasy football or fantasy baseball, but I play fantasy football, and I had a whole list lined out. This is what I want. And it never goes like that, because the next thing you want on the list, the next person right after you grabs it, the person right before you grabs what you wanted. So you just have to keep going down the list to hopefully get the stuff you want. I loved the process, though, just thinking up how we were going to do it and then actually doing it was just a lot of fun. And I like what we're doing today. We've got our screens up. I was hoping that's what we would be able to do for the draft, but because everyone's in different time zones in this group, it made it difficult to do that on the day that we wanted to do the draft. So we just had to do it with text, through the text channels, which was fine because halfway through that, I had to stop and make dinner. And I was doing some of my picks while I was sitting at the dinner table on my phone. So
I was at work.
Yeah, you were at work.
Yeah, I was at work.
I can say, hey, am I up? Okay, I'll take this one.
And of course, it was one that I wanted when he said, I'll take this one.
Well, just to piggyback on what you're saying, I'm a big football guy myself, and I used to play fantasy football all the time, and it's been a couple years since I haven't, so this actually, brought back, the old feeling memories of, drafting who you want, for your team and stuff like that, and
it satisfied that itch.
It definitely did, yeah.
Yep.
Especially when you try to resisting yourself to selecting someone on the board just to see if maybe you can get something good, and then maybe that'll fall in your lap at the end of the round, at the end of the draft.
Yep.
That's a good feeling.
It was interesting doing it through a Discord chat. So we were texting back and forth what was available. So we'd have to have I had it up first it was on my phone, and then I was able to come home and do it on my computer. So I'd have to switch from my phone over to the Excel sheet in which we had the different picks going. I have to switch back on my phone back to the Discord and go, okay, I want this one and this one if it comes up next. And I honestly didn't have a list ahead of time. And so I just kind of knew there's 2 or 3 cards out there that I enjoy playing. So let's see if we can aim towards those cards. And then Solo stole Gambit from me, and it was a whole process to get him back. But it was still a good time. And so it was just an interesting process to be able to go, all right, I know these 4 cards that I'm familiar with, and let's see what else can fall into my lap along the way. And let's try a few heroes that I haven't played before, because it's a tournament, and let's do some new experiences. And so the drafting process was different for sure.
I have a question for you based on that Gambit comment. What do you guys think of trading after we have drafted. I thought it was an interesting idea. I didn't trade very well. I didn't make very good trades, in my opinion, but I still like the idea of doing the trades. What did you guys think of that?
I thought it was a great idea because, like, it's just like I said, it serves that fantasy football, fantasy sport type itch. Like you get like a certain time period where you can actually, trade off. Like maybe you were trying to strategically pick certain packs to build a certain thing. Like for example, me, I picked a lot of stuff that built into the defense protection engine. So maybe, oh wait, I didn't get the pack that had energy barrier, but maybe I have something that they want that we could do a little exchange.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really thought that was a good idea. It just added an extra element to the fun of the selection process. So that's why I really liked it. And the other thing too is I actually liked it better that we did it, on Discord just via text that way, because it gave me some thinking time and a little bit of research time to go, okay, I have these, but these have been chosen. Let's pop on to, all the release of the heroes and also on to Marvel CDB and kind of scout out, okay, what other cards do I need to support the heroes I've selected? Because, if you don't have all those cards memorized, that's kind of a challenge. so that giving us that extra, it was nice having that extra time for me personally.
I did like the trading process. I thought it was neat. Just thinking for just a quick second, and then I do want to hear Earth Twister's question. I'm curious on y'all's thoughts on kind of like fantasy football. You can still trade players later in the tournament as well in fantasy football, right? So like throughout the season you can make trades. I'm curious if throughout a tournament, if we go week by week, we could do trades as well. Could make things a little interesting.
I think we could. I don't think there's any reason we shouldn't do that. I had put in the rules that, you only have a really small window to trade, but I don't see any reason why you can't trade packs throughout the season. That might be something we consider for the Season 2 rules.
Or Season 3.
Or
Season 3.
Or Season 4.
Or exchange. Or Season 10.
Oh. Well, it's a bit of a distance, but...
Season 25.
Season 42.
So, hey, Earth Twister, you had a question for us.
Did
No, I'm kidding.
Am I
Sorry.
wearing my Buffalo Bills Unos?
I'm
Yes.
done. No more
Yes, I am.
questions for you. I'm out.
Good night, Earth Twister.
Good night, Levi. So listening to y'all, it sounded like you were all going through a lot of different. You were trying to think through it strategically, right? You were like, okay, these packs, I have these heroes. But did any of you just go in and say, I like this character, I really like that box, and so instead of thinking through the cards that were in them, did any of you just choose them based off of the heroes that you were going to get out of that?
I did for my first pick. I grabbed the Sinister Motos box because it had all the Web Warrior line in there. And I really like playing with Web Warriors.
And that was my first pick too. Like everything was revolved around my first pick as well. So I wanted the hero Psylocke. So that I picked a pack that I thought would go with her. And then because I was last, I got to also pick my hero right after that too. Because since I got, when you're last, you get to pick two in a row, serpentine your way back the other way. So I got to do both, pick my box and then also pick Psylocke at the same time. So mine was based on that. And then after that, it was a matter of trying to flesh out what could support those particular heroes.
For me, it was very much the... I think I had started off with, okay, I know I want a lot of the supports that come in S.H.I.E.L.D. And that's why I picked Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. right away, because I like a lot of the supports and become familiar with them since I played with them throughout all of last year. And then Ready for a Fight was the next big thing, because I knew I wanted that. But then I really tried to focus heavily on, did I have enough cards to make a Justice deck or a Leadership deck or Aggression deck or Protection deck, to kind of just make sure that I was able to hit all four aspects for whatever situation I ran into. So it was more focused on the aspects versus the heroes.
And that's a good way to go at it. I was kind of mostly going after heroes I wanted that also had cards I wanted. So, like Ironheart, I knew I was going to play Ironheart, but I also wanted her to get Ingenuity because I was going to have several heroes that could play Ingenuity. And then I picked Wasp because she can use Ingenuity, and she comes with, Power in All of Us, Quinn Carrier, and another card she came with that I'm like, yeah, I really want that. So I got her. And then when I picked my first box, it was Age of Apocalypse because I knew I wanted to play Bishop and I knew I wanted to play Magic. And I also knew I wanted to play the Sidekick package with someone, and that came in that box too. And I got to do all three of those. I got to play Bishop and Magic and use the Sidekick package in a different hero. So those were good picks. I ended up picking Valkyrie, not because I wanted to play Valkyrie, but because she came with Hall of Heroes. And I wanted Hall of Heroes for one of my aggression builds. But then I ended up trading Black Widow to Abby's Maul for Thor, and he came with Hall of Heroes. So Valkyrie was a completely wasted pick. I got nothing out of Valkyrie that I was able to use in the tournament. And coming up, I want to say, we're recording this February 28th. Coming up on March 5th, I've got a video coming out where I grade my draft picks. And I gave Valkyrie an F because I got literally nothing out of Valkyrie.
F for fantastic.
And I gave three of my drafts. I gave an F or a D- to because I just didn't use anything from them.
D for delightful.
Most of my picks were good, but three of my picks were just not good. And the trade, I said I didn't do very good in trading. I think trading Black Widow away for Thor was not a good trade for me. Because I think I would have played Black Widow in the tournament if I still had her. But then trading away Gambit lost me Professor X. So I didn't have a consistent Confuse throughout the entire tournament. I kind of regret that pick, but I also got some really good stuff out of Nova for a couple of my decks. So I think that pick ended up being okay, even though I lost Professor X. But I still probably should have stayed with Gambit there.
It was a great trade for me, but
it was a great trade for me.
You got the next question, Levi? Since I sort of inserted a question in there.
I guess. Okay, so did you guys like building a limited environment? And what was that like?
Building in a limited environment.
No, building a limited environment.
I loved it. Just because, again, stemming back from when me and Solo were talking about this. And then it actually started coming in, because we were tossing the ball around before, like, the whole current environment thing got announced. And I thought that was fantastic because, like, yeah, I mean, if you have your collection, you can play Legacy anytime you want. But I look at it as a way of challenging yourself and building with the tools that you got to see how crafty you can get to survive certain scenarios. And also that helps prove legitimacy that you can build something with limited resources and still win a game. And I love the challenge aspect of that. And also too, with the limited environment drafting, what we had, there's a lot of heroes that I personally haven't played because I'm a collector and I purchased everything I could right away. And I got the opportunity to play with heroes I never played with in this tournament, and I absolutely loved it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I know there are still people out there that absolutely hate the idea of not using their entire collection, right? I get people on my comments saying, why are you even doing this? This is a nothing burger. Who cares? It matters to people who like to give themselves more of a challenge. In my Magic deck, the video for my Magic deck against Ebony Maw, I even say, okay, I've got Magic, but I don't have any X-Men because I didn't draft them. I have almost no protection cards because I didn't draft them. And I have no other spells and no Mystic support because I didn't draft that either. But I'm going to play this game anyway. And that was like, what, a 22-minute dog stomping of Ebony Maw. So
Oh my gosh, yes.
even without all of that support that she could have had, I was able to put together a deck good enough to get me through that game. So
Look, man, I mean, with Magic, you just get Cosmo.
Cosmo would have been good in that deck. I didn't have Cosmo in my environment though. And what's his name? Lockjaw would have been good too. Just get him in discard and play him and not worry about it. But I didn't have Lockjaw either. But building with constraints is a lot of fun. The most fun I ever had in Magic the Gathering was building Pauper decks. Pauper means you can only use cards that are commons. So at one point, I built a deck, I call it the Riverfall Pauper deck. It was literally like an 82-cent deck. And all my friends were angry at me because they had $200 decks and I was just crushing them with this 82-cent deck. And that was so much fun. They're like, well, you can't do anything if they're unstoppable or if they're unblockable. I'm like, I know, that's why I built the deck to do that. So that you can't do anything about it.
Did you slip in there like, how much you pay for those sleeves?
Yeah, right. The sleeves cost me more than the deck did, to be honest. And so that's fun. Having restraints is fun, and being able to win with those restraints is fun. So I loved the idea. Like Jeff was even saying, we were talking about this way before we even knew about the quote-unquote limited environment. But as soon as they announced it, I was excited. And no one else was. Like, everyone else was like, no, I'm going to use every card I have. Go ahead, but you can't build a deck with every card you have because you can only fit 50 cards in a deck. But I was really excited.
Tell me I can't build my cards.
Yeah, exactly. FFG's not going to come beat your door down and say, you can't use those cards, man. So I was excited right from the beginning, and it was really exciting to have a reason to do it, right? I made a video called Making Limited Matter, and this is how we made it matter. We made a tournament where it matters that you only have a limited card pool, a limited environment. So I was excited, and I loved doing it. I loved being a part of it.
Yeah, and I my path was very similar to Solo's with that too, because there's an app I've been playing even longer than Marvel Champions. That's Magic the Gathering Puzzle Quest, and it's the same type of thing. It's more fun building your decks in the part that's limited than it is to build the decks when you have everything, because basically my decks never change, hardly ever change where I can use any cards I want. But in the decks that keep rotating out and rotating in, that's where the creativity and your deck builds come in. And then, so the same is here. And I was already excited about that to begin with. But as Solo is saying, this is, and I think implying, this is the ultimate way to me of having a limited environment and doing something with it that's, that gives you a real reason that's fun in and of itself, and that you're restricted to heroes you chose. Like, it's your fault if, these are the ones you chose, this is what you got. But having that challenge, it's like, hey, this is the group I chose. And even more fun for that to me is, and every single person in the tournament has completely different choices than I do, because they all have their own environment. Each environment is unique. That's such a cool idea that I didn't really think all the way through before we started playing.
The one thing I really like about this is that so I just started content creating this actually my channel hit its I've been so busy with work and other stuff that hit my second year, I guess, this month, right at the end, or February, whatever. But the cool thing is that us content creators, like all of us, like we're not big apples, right? We're just we're the other guys, and this is something that we all was able to band together and do something and share, and it's so cool that it's catching wind. And one thing that I like is because we're all part of the Marvel Champions community, right? We've been in the other Discord servers and we played online web games. I got to meet Solo and at my first Marvel Champions Convention in MCDC, which was sweet, and we were playing games like before then. But the cool thing is that like this is kind of like we're like our thing, right? And it feels like a bonding. And it feels so cool just to throw the ball with each other and do this stuff, and it's super exciting to see where it goes.
No, it is really exciting to see where it goes because it is a very unique thing, and like you mentioned, we are in a unique spot because we're not the A-listers, right? A-listers, yes, is the right term there. The big apples, but people are still enjoying our content enough, and it was cool to be able to see our channels change and grow a little bit because we were able to share viewers together of people like, oh, well, you're working with this guy, I should go check him out too. And so that's been a really neat experience in that regard. And then being able to jump into watching each other's content more often too, and getting a feel of how you played the game. And then like Abizal mentioned, getting to see you had different choices than I did. And because of that, you got to make some different calls in the middle of the game that I was like, I wish I had it confused from Professor X, or I wish I could have done this thing instead. Yeah. Building in the limited environment made it so cool to not only be building my own thing, but also being able to see, man, they were able to overcome this challenge that I was struggling with the entire fight the last game that I played. And so I did enjoy building in the limited environment. I did find myself having to catch myself because I would build my deck and then I would run to bed, and you know how your mind runs, and I start thinking, oh, well, I could add this card or I could add that card. And I'd get back and sit down, I'm like, oh, it's not in my environment. And so that was the only disappointing part was that feature. But I really did enjoy getting to make something unique and make it work with, these are the cards that I have. So I've got to make it happen or it's not going to happen at all. And that felt more like a comic book to me because your hero is coming in going, my web shooters aren't working today and Juggernaut is still robbing the bank. So I've got to figure this out. So.
What a reference. Spider-Man and Juggernaut. Come on.
It's a common fight.
I don't even have a Professor X.
Yeah, I'll be small and I got lucky on that, I guess.
It must be nice to have Xavier throw the man in the wheelchair.
It was lucky for Solo to have a brain fart and trade me the Gambit pack. Although I did enjoy the stuff I got from Nova. The wilds I got out of Nova's pack, helped me in 2 different games, both of the MODOK games. So those were good to see. And something else came in Nova. I don't remember what it was, but I remember thinking, yeah, these other cards from Nova are good too.
I mean, that's the pack that Hone Technique comes in.
Hone Technique comes in that, but I did not use that in the tournament.
Man.
Well, there is another question here, but I'm going to skip this one because y'all have kind of been talking about it as we've been going. The question is, what did you learn? I'm going to skip that one and move to...
Oh. I have an answer for that, though. I have a good answer before we skip over.
Don't trade with Jason.
My answer for that is don't trade packs after you've drafted them. No, that's not it. What I learned, honestly, is I don't need Professor X in every deck because I didn't have him for 8 games straight in expert games. And while it would have been nice to have him, I didn't need him to win those games. So, he's pretty much a crutch, even though he didn't make it on my crutch video. He's a crutch you throw into every deck because he's basic and he's going to get you that confused. And I learned I don't need him in every deck I play. So that was good having that limited environment without him because my heart grew 3 sizes that day.
Yeah, that's a good point too, because even though I didn't have him in my pool list, because I used to crutch on him a lot just for the threat removal and the thing, and I also I did kind of the same thing. Like I made sure with my builds I didn't have Nick Fury in it because it's Nick Fury. But maybe I had one of my decks, but I didn't use them per se. But unlike with I do crutch on Nick Fury Senior because he's 5 threat removal and I think he's great.
Yep.
I did learn a couple of things. One of the, I guess three key things that I can think of off the top of my head. I learned from Solo how to stay ahead in my recording of content. I think Abby Small and I were talking one day watching his limited environment draft, and Solo's dropping all these videos, and we're like, we're behind. And so we started playing catch up too. And Solo's like, that's not the intention, guys. And it's like, well, it's kind of what's happening now. And I'm finding myself being about a week ahead. So I do want to say thank you for that. That was one thing I did learn how to do. I also learned that I need to read cards word for word while I'm playing, because that cost me several games. So that is something I've learned better to do now. And then the final thing I learned was Energy Shield and Rocket Raccoon is going to be a key card that I play for any protection Rocket Raccoon in the future. 0 cost upgrade to draw 2 cards for free was just a wild game.
And we were talking about this, and you could put it on any character.
Yes, any character. So I can have 3 of them out there at any time and just go back down and draw 6 if I need to. It is so much fun.
Energy Shield is a great card.
I still haven't been able to master the art of getting a lot of videos, like actual videos produced. I think that's why I stream a lot, because it fits with my busy schedule. But I did learn how to put time punches in my descriptions. So thank you guys.
Hey, you're welcome.
And I did it on this video on the last stream, so you can click on it now.
That's great. Let's go.
Jeff did a thing.
Okay, well, those are some great lessons that y'all learned. I really appreciate y'all sharing that wisdom with us. Did you come to love or hate a scenario in this process? And why was it Juggernaut?
Well, I'll start by saying that I have always loved Juggernaut. Juggernaut is one of my favorites because he is a biatch, man. He hits you for $1 billion, and then even after you expose him, he'll scheme and just flip it right back. Or even if he doesn't scheme, he gets a card that says, flip it right back. And I my first game of the tournament, I lost because every turn he was flipping his helmet back over, and I'd keep having to spend resources to flip it back. And it just caught up with me. I wasn't doing anything besides flipping his stupid helmet over, and I couldn't get ahead in the game. That said, I still love Juggernaut. He is an awesome villain. I just regret losing the first game of the tournament and only getting 1 point out of that game.
For me, one thing that I came to appreciate actually is just how much challenging Captain America can be. That I wasn't ready for that. I didn't realize, by the end, it wasn't until like my final game that I realized that he has, if you're in Alter Ego, he has 5 different ways. He has 5 cards that he can scheme with when he's in an Alter Ego. So you get, so who cares if the 2 advances are gone? He's still got 3 other ways that he might do that to you again. And I definitely paid the price because I thought I knew 4 of them were in my discard pile in one of my games. And I went to my Alter Ego side. I'm like, okay, I'm safe. But I wasn't.
No, you're not wrong. That's why, like, when I was playing it yesterday, I called it out a couple times. It's like, I'm kind of scared right now. Because even though, like, both advances and shells were gone, it's like he could... That's why I got rid of his helmet right away at the end.
It was a wild ride against Cap. I think I went in with a different mindset because when the first time playing Cap, he wasn't too hard. This was outside of the LEDT. So I had played Cap. I was like, I beat him. That was not so bad. And so I went in with the mindset facing him in the tournament. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like sweating every game. The Jubilee game, I was like on the cusp of winning with like 2-hour game in. And it was, I did appreciate how tough he is. But I had PTSD when I ended up playing with Jeff again a couple days later and playing Captain America on Discord, and I was like, I don't want to do this. I really don't want to do this again.
You're talking about Captain Clintar.
I am, yes.
So Captain Clintar is Captain America with the symbiote suit. So when I went to assemble, they gave us a custom villain card called Corrupted Symbiote Suit, And what it does is it gives the villain +1 attack and scheme, and +10 hit points per player. Now here's the kicker: there's no hazard icon on it, but you do get all the players get additional hand size. So what I did was I gave that to Captain America, gave him like the Secret Avengers mod set, and then I gave him I gave him Symbiotic Strength, and I gave him Agent Venom's Nemesis set, and I put it
both?
in Standard 2X. Yeah, Standard 2X for 2. Yeah,
Because we also had the Defenders in there, and
yeah,
was it New Avengers? It was all Defender minions, though.
yeah, and the Symbiotic Strength, and then Standard 2X for 2 for funsies.
Yeah, this was not part of the tournament, but I did have PTSD
We
walking
won.
into that game and left with more afterwards. So
He told me I'm good on Captain America for a little bit.
Yeah, I'm good on Captain America for a little bit. The first game was a win. Second game sucked. I lost the second game and got no points, but the first game was a lot of fun.
I actually did some like after tournament games with the same environment, and specifically to face Juggernaut and Captain America again, and just to kind of use some other heroes that I never used in the tournament. I wanted to kind of see what they would do. So I'll have some videos coming out with them.
Oh, it's awesome.
I want to replay I want to replay my game with Quicksilver, because I really wanted to do some type of fun demonstration of like speed versus strength, because I was but now he got dead instant.
He got deadified.
He seems like he can't outrun death.
So I've got a question for everybody before we move on. I played, 8 different heroes in the tournament. And I know, Abby Small, you doubled up some heroes. Did anyone else double up? I'm not looking at it right now. I don't remember if anyone else doubled up their heroes, or did you play 8 different heroes?
I had considered doubling up, but I think I went straight doing different heroes each game. And so I did end up doing different heroes each game. Now I ended up like doing similar things with Spider-Ham and Silk, because there's web warrior aspects there. But I did not. I don't think I did not repeat any heroes. I intentionally went in trying to do a different hero each time.
Jason, are you playing a different game than everyone else?
Yes, we each had our own different and limited environments.
Web warrior's not an aspect.
Oh, sorry. Trait.
I didn't even catch that because I was looking up this spreadsheet. Because if I'd caught it, I would have made a smart aleck comment.
With the heroes and stuff, like I didn't even think about like doing I wanted to try and do like spread it around, and everyone gets a turn on the bench, right?
The way I ended up spreading it around actually is that I did do like 2 of each aspect. So I only did 4 heroes, so I repeated a lot. But I did 2 of each aspect. So I did 2 leadership, 2 aggression, 2 justice, and 2 protection. Of course, no pool, since I didn't have pool. None of us did. So
Regrets. I should have grabbed him.
I went into it with that intention of splitting my aspects 2 on each. And going into the last game, I realized I hadn't played the sidekick stuff yet. So in that game, I went with leadership. The only one I only played once was, where is it? Protection. So, but everything else I've played 2, or in the case of leadership, 3.
I was glad I decided to do that with the aspects, because that I did feel like it pushed me to do some builds that I wouldn't have normally done. But at the same time, I had been committed in my mind that I was going to repeat some heroes because I hadn't played them in a long time, and I just wanted to get more plays with them while I had them.
It was really cool to get to see the different aspects for the different heroes. So to get to see, Domino's back again, but he's doing something different. That's really cool, and to get to see that you're able to combo that, and it wasn't like, well, I don't have all the aggression cards or distance cards I need from this kid over here. You you designed some really cool decks for Domino, Psylocke, and Iceman throughout the series. I was surprised to see the surprise Shadowcat at the end. But it was good to see the consistency of, all right, here comes Iceman again, or here comes Psylocke or Domino getting ready to jump in and take in the next villain. It was almost like we were watching a story carry on, that these three X-Men were traveling together to fight the different villains.
Agreed. But that's not what you were saying there. By you playing them so many times, though, you become more fluent with their play style. So it's like you already know in your head, like, what I'm going to do when this pops up, and it's just muscle memory at that point, which makes you more of a, because I think what did Bruce Lee say? I don't fear a man that knows 1,000 different moves. I fear the man that knows how to do the same move 1,000 times.
Sure, that wasn't Chuck Norris?
I mean,
I have
Chuck
no
Norris
idea.
was trained by Bruce Lee, so.
Thank you, Chuck Norris.
I watched Dodgeball for the first time the other day, and Chuck Norris was in that, and I had no idea. He was like, he cast the final vote to allow them to continue in the tournament, and
Yes, he did.
I was surprised to see him. It just cut to him, and he's like, yes. And I'm like, hey, there's Chuck Norris.
Thank you, Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris has always been that guy that just pops out of nowhere to be the decisive factor of everything. I mean, who remembers the Royal Rumble when he helped The Undertaker against Yokozuna in the casket match?
Not me, sorry.
I never got into wrestling, man. Sorry.
I watched wrestling in college because my roommate was really into it. So for a whole year, we watched Raw every Monday night. And I had fun doing that with him. But, like, as soon as, we moved out, I never watched wrestling again ever. But it was fun watching with other people who were excited about it.
Does anyone remember the movie Ready to Rumble with David Arquette?
I do.
I remember, I didn't see it, but I remember hearing about it.
Must be good, because you both have got that creepy, scary, like, if you know grin on your face.
What movie haven't you seen, Levi?
50 Shades of Grey. I'm not going to watch that crap.
It's on the list.
No, of course.
Levi's
I've
seen
never
it.
seen 50 Shades of... I haven't seen that, no.
Definitely not. No, definitely not.
No.
Welcome to the Psyche of Levi Lewis, a podcast where we
Well,
talk about all the things Levi Lewis.
To get back into the actual podcast episode.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Great
How did
segue.
you
Good
guys-
job.
Yeah. Oh, no. So how did
my
you guys
gosh.
pick which villains and or scenarios to face?
I'll answer that because I'm the one that did it. I just randomized, all the villains we had and randomized until I got 4 different ones. So that was just simple and easy. Now, what we're going to do in season 2, and I say we, even though I'm not going to be able to participate, and I think Jason said you're not going to be able to either. We're going to incorporate drafting villains. So after we've drafted our packs and boxes, and after the short trading period, we'll then serpentine draft villains, 3 villains each. And then those 12, because each pod will have 4 players, those 12 villains make up the pool that we randomized from. So that way you can kind of hope to get something you're excited to play and won't get something that everyone says, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to veto that. So and I like that idea. I kind of wish I was going to be able to do season 2 because of that. But yeah, just random. It was all randomized.
But we were still allowed, even in this tournament, to veto. We each had a veto that we were allowed to use, and nobody ended up using them because we didn't get Ronin. But
Exactly.
Halfway through my Jubilee game, I wanted to veto Captain America. So
Right?
But yes, the interesting part to that was I think part of the conversation was mod sets. How did we decide if we were going to do the default mod sets or not? And I don't remember how that conversation went. Honestly, I just knew that we decided that was going to be the best route to go.
Yeah, I think we just said, like, we'll start with default. Default, of course, is just recommended and required mod sets. And then we can pitch different stuff. Like let's say we were playing Rhino, someone could say, well, the bomb scare mod set is trash. Let's put in,
Infinity Gauntlet.
Infinity Gauntlet instead.
And I have to admit, I actually really love Rhino with I don't remember what it's called, but the one that has MODOK in it. I actually love that one.
Yeah.
Oh, the
I don't like that set.
Yeah. It's a roll of the dice, though, whether you're going to win or not, though, when MODOK's in.
Rhino with Legions of Hydra is good, though. Like, I play Expert Rhino with Legions of Hydra quite a bit. That's fun. But yeah, we just kind of said we will start with default, and if you want to change it, put it in the chat. And if everyone's okay with it, we'll go with that. So we did have opportunities to switch up the villains. I think for the most part, it's just easier to say, okay, default, standard one, expert one, go. Everybody do the same thing. And it doesn't matter what we ended up using, as long as we were all using the same thing, that's all that mattered.
Right. Well, and it also made it easier for, all of us who did want to do games recorded ahead of time. Then that way we can, if anything happens with our schedule, we already have our games done. I imagine, that a lot of us were thinking that too. So when Solo was doing his ahead, I was already thinking of doing mine ahead as well, because I was like, well, I never know what's going to happen in my schedule. I'm my wife's caregiver. And, schedule can be a little chaotic. And I'm like, I'm going to build in some insurance time by doing some games ahead of time and just make sure I have it recorded already.
Yeah.
It would be kind of cool or interesting to do also, maybe. Doing the randomizer with the villains is a great idea. What if else we did randomizer with the modular sets? Maybe we randomize that, because what would be really interesting would be having the limited pool that we have, and then we go in completely with just such a unique situation that we all the participants would play in. Shake things up a little bit.
We could randomize those as long as we did it ahead of time and said, okay, this is what it is. Going back to Abby Small's point, with me especially, because of the way I work and record my videos, I have certain chunks of time each day to record or edit or whatever, and I've gotten into such a groove doing that, okay, I get home from work, I'm going to record this game now. Time to start dinner, so I have to stop, but then after dinner, okay, she's going to watch her show, now I can go edit. And I've just built that habit over the last 3 years, that if I feel like, and it's probably not the case, but I feel like if I am not doing something for the channel during those times, then I'm wasting my time. Like, I love to read, but if it's at a time when I could be recording, I'm like, oh man, I can't do this. I'm never going to finish this book. I've got to get this game recorded. So as long as we do the randomizing, at the very beginning, and say, okay, these are the mod sets we're using, that would be totally fine. I wouldn't have a problem with that at all.
No, I agree with what you're saying. Like how you did it with the villains. If we just randomize the villain the mod set that day before it all starts,
and then we still get a chance to veto.
Correct. Yes, and I think there is a randomizer already out there that does all that for you if you need to. I think Earth Twister's been using
I did a video on it the other day.
Oh, sweet.
Well, I mean, I used it and kind of showcased it a little bit. I didn't post the link in the description, but
it gave you Whiteout and Space Pirates last time, right?
I saw that. Because I didn't watch the video yet, but I saw it and I went, well, that's a weird combination. So now I know that you randomized it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me tell you, don't do it.
I want to try it.
Side story, I went to his house and I was like, he's like, man, I'm really struggling with the Spectrum deck and trying to win against, I think it was On the Run. I was like, On the Run with Spectrum, you should be doing just fine.
No, it was Morlock Siege.
Oh, Morlock Siege. And so I walked over and started going through the encounter set and I was like, oh my gosh, you got Space Pirates and Whiteout. No wonder you're struggling. It's not the Morlocks you're struggling against, or the, oh my gosh, what are those names now? The others, not the bad guys.
What are they? They're not Reavers. What are they called? I can't even think what they're called.
Marauders.
Right now. Marauders.
Yes,
yeah.
Marauders. Yeah, it's not the Marauders you're struggling with. It's the mod sets that you got in there. The Spice Pirates and Whiteout just stopping you from even doing anything. So,
Yeah, I mean, no joke. There was a couple of times I was like, okay, I think I'm going to take this hit because I should be okay. Not that bad. And then the boost that flips over is Whiteout or Blizzard himself. And it's like 8 boost tokens and immediate death. You know, it's the worst.
it was a
But
tough
enough about
challenge,
me.
but
This is
that's-
about the LEDT. What aspect has seen the most playtime for each of y'all, and which one performed the best?
I've talked about it a little bit. Leadership ended up being my most played, and I mean it just crushed every game I played in leadership. Just annihilated the villain of the week. So, and I think leadership should always do that, right? I mean leadership, for me anyway, is the strongest, the most powerful aspect. So I was happy to play it 3 times in the tournament because I was, I wasn't like sure that I was going to get the win, but playing leadership, recurring Nick every turn or whatever, using Sidekick to make your identity specific ally stick around forever. Yeah, I knew leadership was going to do well, and it did. It won every game I played in leadership. I won. So,
And I think in a limited environment, leadership is likely to be pretty strong because, that's the way things, that the core set has some great leadership cards right off the bat.
I mean, make the call is in the core set.
Yeah.
You can make the call Nick every turn if you want to, right? Just getting Nick in every turn to draw you more cards or deal a total of 6 damage is so huge. So, yeah, I agree with that.
Looking at my games right now, I'm actually quite shocked because I'm such a protection aspect
Guru.
fanboy, and I've been
You're
told
the
to try other things.
Chuck Norris of protection.
So out of all my games, the only one that lost was when Quicksilver couldn't outrun death from Juggernaut. But I have to say that I'm going to step away from my love for protection because I don't think it's a fair answer. And I have to say that playing Justice with from Miles and SBDR, which was my first time playing them, I absolutely enjoyed playing with that. But my leadership, like you said, is very powerful, and I played that with the Captain America, and I was just dumbfounded of like how powerful it really is, and not even just using make the call, but just like, especially if you're playing a full bred Avengers team, and then you just like I forgot what card it was called. I think it was Mass Attack. Yeah. That's disgusting. Like, you just...
Yeah,
oh my
Mass Attack
goodness.
is good.
It's like, this is my new favorite card. But yeah, no, it's just... And I have to say, I really enjoyed Blade. Blade was a good card.
I would agree that, protection was the one I ended up playing the most, and leadership was probably my most effective. It is interesting that nobody played straight basic.
I honestly didn't even think about that. I like playing a basic deck, and I didn't even think about that.
I think there was room for it, at least in some of our environments, and so just didn't even notice that until we were talking about it when he brought up Blade being a basic card. So,
Yep, I never even considered that.
I specifically steered away from it because I wanted my aspect decks to have a decent number of cards in those aspects. I had like lots of X-Men, packages, and in X-Men, it's really easy to go basic. So
Oh yeah, you got a ton of basic allies.
yeah.
I am looking back. The two games I lost were both in Justice. And I love Justice. I've had really great Justice builds. But Wasp Injustice and Thor Injustice both lost during the tournament. Juggernaut and Captain America were those lost.
It's because aggression is the worst aspect.
Lies!
I like aggression now. I didn't really like it, you know. It hasn't been my favorite. It's never been my favorite, but every release we get some more aggression cards that make me think at least, ooh, would that be good in this deck or that deck? So, and both of my aggression games were wins.
I think aggression has grown a lot, but for sure the heroes that I had did not have those newer, cooler aggression cards that make aggression so much better for solo play than it ever had been in the past.
Mm-hmm.
We're starting a new hashtag here, make aggression great again. So
I don't think it was ever great to begin with, so making it great again is invalid in my opinion.
Wow.
It's always been fun, but it has never been great as far as I'm concerned.
All right, Levi, looks like you got the next question, man.
Did you guys have any favorite decks or hero villain matchups?
And Jason, why was it Jubilee?
Oh, I really did enjoy playing Jubilee, but I think, honestly, I know I ended up losing the game because I misread a card, but the Rocket Raccoon game, really enjoyed how that deck played with getting all of his items out. And I know I talked about it a little bit with the Energy Shield, but looking back, I really had a lot of fun playing Rocket Raccoon. I did enjoy Jubilee, but when I reflect on the tournament, the first thing that always pops up is the Rocket game that I played, and getting to play against MODOK, where it was almost like a rodent is sneaking into his facility, and they're like, something is destroying my things. Why are these guys escaping? And it's this raccoon that just keeps blowing stuff up and throwing these bombs around, and shields start popping up in random places, and then
That's
parts
some
of the
fun headcanon.
Oh yeah, I had a blast with it. So to me, that was a fun matchup. Was just MODOK versus Rocket versus MODOK, and I had a blast with that. So.
When you said headcanon, I was like, that's a unique card. I don't remember Rocket having headcanon.
Oh, Rocket's
what
got
does that card
headcanon.
do?
I could say something awful right now, but I'm not going to.
So for me, I thought I'd follow up with this because one of my battles against MODOK was also my favorite because it's, this tournament was the first time I've ever built decks for a villain. I've never done that before. And that was one of my most fun builds was when I did Domino Leadership against MODOK, specifically trying to take advantage of the 2 Retaliate, along with the, what's that upgrade that brings your ally back after they're defeated immediately?
Rapid response?
Yeah. So, and it also led to my favorite moment of the tournament was when I played Nick Fury, had him get Retaliate 2 on him, and plus his consequential, so that he was defeated when he attacked MODOK with rapid response out, came back in, drew 3 more cards, attacked again, got defeated with another rapid response out, and drew 3 more cards. So I drew 9 cards with Nick Fury that turn, and ended up, and won that game in that round. It was just really cool to have that happen. And I had 2 other allies who had the same type of plan in case they were out. So, because MODOK has, not Stalwart, what's that other one? Steady. And so you can't, I had Professor X. You can't, confuse him immediately. But Professor X has 0 attack, not the dash, so he can still attack. So I also had that plan of if it happened to happen, then I could attack with him let him get defeated, come back in, and actually really confuse MODOK in one turn. And then I had the same plan with the one who adds +1 damage to everything, Cyclops. So Cyclops, when the Cyclops ally comes in, right, choose an enemy, and until the end of the phase, you increase the amount of damage that enemy takes from each attack by 1. So you could have him attack, rapid response him back in, and then he could choose that same enemy twice. And so now that never happened, but I had those 3, Nick Fury, Cyclops, and Professor X. That was the plan for the deck, was that it could happen with any of those.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use that strategy now, and I'm gonna trademark them as Earth Twister strategies.
That is fire. That sounds like a lot of fun. I wish I could have seen that happen for you. That would have been so cool.
Yeah, it would have been neat to have it happen with those other ones. Or even a combination where Nick Fury brings them in with one rapid response, and then you put another out and then do it with the other one. So the potential was there.
I liked using MODOK Steady against them when I was playing my Miles game, and that was like my first time ever playing Miles Morales Spider-Man. And there was a card, and I think the reason why I chose him to do that one was not just because I had never played him, but he had a particular card that really was, I don't know, itching my brain. It was called Arachnobatics, where he deals 2 damage to the enemy. So yeah, you get the retaliate on that, and then you get retaliated, of course. But I think it was like because it specifically had the word if the enemy has a
status card.
Basically, he has a card on it. So and it takes 2 to get the full thing on it, right? So if you have him 1 stun on him, 1 confuse on him, he's always going to have a card on him, so you're always going to be able to get that 5 damage on him whenever you're ready to do the attack. And then he has a way of putting a tough on him too, so that could also eat up. So it was just like such a like ha feeling to it.
Yeah. For me, it was Black Panther T'Challa against Juggernaut. Number 1, because, I lost my first game against Juggernaut, so I needed the points. I needed to get the win against Juggernaut to get some points. But in that deck, I was running the Dora Milaje package in Black Panther. And it made me think, when you're playing Black Panther, you pretty much have to worry about always having a Wakanda Forever. But in that game, I didn't care if I ever found a Wakanda Forever because Dora Milaje was doing a ton of work for me. So that may end up being the way I just play Black Panther from now on, is just who cares about your upgrades and Wakanda Forever, just go hard on Dora Milaje. And that ended up being a really fun game for me that I wasn't expecting it to play out like that. And it just worked so well. I was excited about it. And I've got a follow-up question because I just talked about Black Panther. It doesn't look like anybody else used a hero from the core set. I used 2. I used Black Panther and I used Captain Marvel in a game. Were you guys... And I went into my draft expecting to do that because Captain Marvel's my favorite hero. And I played her in Aggression. But yeah, I knew going in that I was going to play at least 1 game with the core hero. And I ended up doing 2. Did you guys just say, no, I'm intentionally not using the core, or did it just work out that you didn't use the core heroes?
I played a core hero.
Who'd you play in core?
Iron Man.
Oh yeah, you did play Iron Man
against Captain America. It was the actual Civil War fight.
Yeah, that was the one I haven't seen yet either. So just like Jason, I saw the first one. I haven't seen this.
Yeah, I was there for the first one, but then I couldn't watch the second one.
Oh, I ruined it then. Well, he's on the picture.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at the chart and see that you got 10 points, so I knew that you won the game.
Well, no reason to watch it now.
That's right.
From what I hear, listeners, it is the best game you're going to see the whole tournament. So go check out My Name is Jeff's channel and watch the Iron Man fight versus Captain America. We are all hearing good things.
The build out that Iron Man needs to do, and Captain America doesn't necessarily let you do that. So I think it'd be a pretty good battle to watch. Yeah.
I was nervous about that one because I know I know he needs to get built up. But in the build, I did specifically I went with the repurposed tech line for him because it was going to be my best chance of getting my hand size up because I can't stay down for too long with Cap. So, yeah. But I also, if you look, I put in the description, I put my build in there. You'll notice a lot of those. You're probably thinking, like, oh wow, has this guy been playing a lot of Wonder Man? There's a lot of energy. There's a lot of energy bolts in that deck.
I did actually see that part of the video for the deck, and I thought, oh, okay, this should be a cool matchup. So
I had honestly, I think I was watching your Captain Marvel video solo, and I even watched your tutorial. I didn't think anything of it. It wasn't until you're going playing Captain Marvel, and I was like, oh crap, we have core heroes too. And by then I had like gotten the rest of mine kind of planned out, and so I was like, well, maybe not this round, but next time I will do that. But it started making me think my next goal for my channel is I'm going to do just the core heroes in the current environment. And
That's
so
cool.
that way I can kind of start getting them on, because I haven't played any of them on the channel yet either. So
okay, cool. I was tempted by Spider-Man, but as you guys know, like I was set up for X-Men, so
Yeah.
X-Men and X-Force. So admittedly, X-Force was where I was stretching myself because I couldn't really use the X-Men package so much, and so which I liked because it gave a lot more variety to my decks because I had my share of X-Force. In fact, I guess half of my games were actually X-Force games, so even five of them actually. So I didn't, which is good because otherwise the X-Men decks with the allies can get kind of samey.
Man, talking about this today, I'm upset that I'm not going to be able to participate in season 2 because this was an awful lot of fun, and just getting to talk about it is a lot of fun. And planning, I think that's one thing that I really enjoyed because, like Abby Small, you said kind of early that you liked the idea of picking the villains early so that we could plan, and build decks for the villains. And that was a fun part of it too, assigning your heroes to which villains you're going to play so that you can plan how you're going to do that. The whole planning process was a lot of fun.
I changed my mind so many times, by the way. When you had us, when you think of who you're going to, I must have changed mine like 10 times, which heroes. Because I'd think of somebody and then I go, oh no, I really want to do this. And then, so I kept changing mine until finally I'm like, okay, now it's time to play. So I've got to choose.
Well, I know we've talked about a few of these already, specifically referencing the Nick Fury recall against MODOK there, but were there any other memorable gameplay moments for y'all?
In my Captain Marvel game against MODOK, and actually in the Bishop game too, I had, in both of those games, I didn't worry about the retaliate damage because I wasn't planning to attack MODOK until I got all the cells opened up. So both in the Bishop game and in Captain Marvel, I would attack with Sarah Garza because she has ranged. So she would deal 2 damage and then attack with her again and get him down to 10 hit points. And then with Bishop, he could make the final attack and pop his upgrade to do the last 10 damage and not take the retaliate. And the same thing with Captain Marvel. I was able to get him down to 10 and then just pop energy channel and deal 10 to knock him out. So that was fun in both of those games to be able to say, this is what I want to do. Just knock him down enough so that I can do a final knockout with 1 card. And I got to do it in both of those games. So that was fun.
There was somebody who had a game where they had this great retaliate ending and then they recovered because they had a card out that let their hero survive. That was a memorable moment for me. I just can't remember who had that. It was a recent.
That was one of Jeff's games. That was Captain America versus Captain America, wasn't it?
Okay, Cap versus Cap? Yeah.
Because you had your helmet out.
Yeah. I let him die. Because I had the helmet. But he didn't die because he's okay. He had his hat.
Yeah, that was a really for me, that was a memorable moment to watch.
And then I had the shield block too. I was right. I was the one I was probably going to use. So I'm glad you said it. But I liked it because like I had both shields, so I have double retaliate. And then towards the end is like when Cloak hit the table. He put 2 threat on there, and I started feeling the hair of my neck stand up a little bit because I was like, oh, I'm gonna lose. He's gonna scheme out. It's gonna be horrible, and everyone's gonna laugh at me. But then when I think there's like Cloak, I got that counter card where the minions can activate against you, and I was like, okay, sure, hit me. You're dead. Because I had Hawkeye on the table chipping away at their health. When so many cool things that happened in that one. Should have called him Captain Hydra.
I think my most memorable moment for me was the Jubilee game against Captain America. And there was a point where I think I'd gotten 3 encounter cards, and Cap had gotten me down pretty low, drew 1 encounter card that knocked me down to 1 health point. And the next encounter card I got was my obligation. That made me flip
Obligation
down.
saves the day. Yeah.
Obligation saves the day. And so the next card was another attack that didn't happen because I had been forced to flip down because of my obligation. That was the only time I've ever been like so excited to see an obligation.
And then your scheme got to one away from scheming out too, right? Right? Like you were at every limit you could be at.
Jubilee was like freaking out. It was awesome. It was so much fun. If you're talking about sweating and hair on your neck, sparkle fingers, that's it.
Something memorable for me watching was Abby Small's domino games because I hadn't played domino in a long time. And before I even saw any of his games, I saw it on the spreadsheet and I'm like, oh man, I really need to play domino again. And I started looking at domino and looking at her alter ego ability and thought, ooh, I really want to do this kind of deck, but I want to wait and see if he does it in his games so that so no one can come back and say, oh, you just copied his deck. And then he showed me his decks. I'm like, okay, good. He didn't do that. So I was able to do that. And that was really fun, just getting reintroduced to domino through your games, because it had been well over a year probably since I'd played domino. So sometimes just seeing a hero being played, or in this case, just seeing them on a spreadsheet, sparked some ideas for me. So that was fun in that aspect too.
Yeah, seeing your domino plays was like really cool because it's like, again, there's a lot of heroes I haven't played, and she's like one of them ones I wanted to try out because I like that whole like the jackpots and the movement. I like mechanics where you move things around.
Yeah,
it's neat.
Wonder Man has some of that.
Yes.
And I've played a bunch of games with him just in the last couple of days because I just got him the other day. And there are still some little things I'm learning. Like the first game I recorded was my first game ever playing with him. So I just kind of went through it. And afterwards I'm like, oh, I could have done that better. I could have done that better. And then I played a couple more games. And then this morning I recorded him against Ultron. And I learned some more stuff in that game, and then played a few more games after I recorded, and I went, oh, I should be doing this, which I didn't think about doing during the games. So I'm excited for him. I've played him in 2 aspects now, and I still need 2 more, but I think he's going to play really well in whatever aspect you want to put him in, because you can still get your favorite events from the other aspects.
Yeah, nice.
One of my favorite memories is watching Amizmal's game. Usually when I watch y'all's games, I'm making my wife's coffee. And I don't remember who you were facing, but you were playing as Iceman. And I turned around to like get my coffee for her, turned back around to look at the game, and you had gone from 0 frostbites to all of your frostbites on the villain. The villain could not do anything the next turn. I was like, what? How did this happen? I turned around for 10 seconds, and all these frostbites are on the villain. So that was a cool moment. But Iceman was a lot of fun to get to re-see that over and over again, too. So
that actually was one of my favorite moments too, is when I got to get rid of, when he goes to the third stage and he gets that card that gives him retaliate, and there are two ways you can handle it. One way is just make sure he doesn't have any momentum counters on him for Juggernaut.
Yes.
Right. So make sure he doesn't have momentum counters on him is one choice. And then another choice is let him attack you. And then you just have to take
resources.
Yeah. That many resources out of your. Yeah. But I made it so that when he attacked, he had like 0. So I could just pay nothing. I could just pay 0 and then got rid of that card.
Yeah, I actually did like that moment. When you did that, I was like, oh, well, that's one way to do it. It's a great way to do it.
I had to look that one up to make sure it was allowed because I was, after I played him a little bit, I was like, oh, I might be able to make this happen. I was like, can I do that if it's 0? So I had to look that one up and go, okay, yes, it's 0 still the cost, so I can pay 0 and still get rid of it. So.
Are we ready for the last question of the night?
Hit me with your best shot. Fire away.
I need a deck after that.
I know, I remember that.
I played that deck with you.
Okay, so for our last question, what was everyone's final scores?
My final score, which I've known for a while, obviously, because I had everything recorded by the first week of February, is 59. Although I did change it. It was 61, but I did take a deduction on one game because I did some really wonky stuff. But my final was 59 out of 80.
Yeah, I had some bad mistakes that I made at the beginning of the tournament that I had to start turning myself around and make sure that I am reading every single card. And then super excited for that Captain America game with Ant-Man and getting just pummeled in the first 10 minutes. Really messed up my score. And so 41 points this round.
All right. And I finished with 68. And I had a one that surprise loss that I wasn't expecting with that extra scheming at the end. And then I had another game that ended where it was the villain attacking and I could just finish the game right then and subtract 2 points off. And I decided, you know what, it's not worth risking one more round. And so I just went ahead and took the victory on defense. So, but it was still actually kind of a memorable moment at the same time to win that way. So I'm at 68. So, but that puts our last person at with some potential here.
Yeah,
That's true.
There is potential that Jeff, who has not yet played his second or his last 2 games, could win the whole thing based on the points right now.
What's his current number?
Currently, he is at 50. Oh, he's back. Sorry, Jeff. I didn't even see you there. I saw that you were gone, and then that's why I was answering for you.
I'd get our energy drink.
I could.
When do you know when you're gonna play your games?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Cool. So, folks, at this point
Yeah,
in time, we don't have the answer.
I would have had.
Okay.
I fell behind because I went to that thing, and then work got a little crazy this week.
And then your car blew up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the engine. Yeah, the engine. It was
Fun.
Well, at this point in time, we don't have the scores, but with him playing tomorrow, I may not have the podcast edited just yet. So in this section here, Jason, as you're listening, remind yourself to put his final score in at this time.
He's not going to remember.
Future Jason, don't forget that.
It's actually,
my
he's going to
best.
say that in the podcast, and all the viewers are going to be like, what?
Well, joke's on you guys. I did remember, and guess what? We have Jeff's perfect score. It is 70. Jeff got a 70.
So you guys, I actually have to cut out because my wife needs me.
Okay.
So
Go ahead.
yeah. So, but had a great time. Thanks for having me on as a guest, and it was great playing with you guys, of course. And we'll talk more later on Discord. So, see ya.
Sounds good.
Absolutely.
Have a good
Thanks for
night.
coming.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah. Awesome.
Have a good one.
All right. And do we want to announce how to sign up for Season 2? Or do we want to wait for that for another time?
Go ahead and talk about it. Like, the rules for Season 2 are already complete and have been vetted by basically everyone on the team. I will be putting out, and I might attach it to my draft score video, a Google form that's going to allow people to sign up. So I will have it on that video or some video. I will have it at some point in the very near future. And I will give you guys the links to it too, so you can link it on anything you're doing, including this episode.
Yes, so if you guys check the description, there is a link down there. If you would like to play in Season 2 of the LEDT, be sure to click that link and say, yeah, pick me, Solo. And yeah, Solo will let you know what's up. I'm sure we'll gather more information as we get closer. But go fill the form out. Well, thank you guys all for listening. I do want to encourage everybody, please be sure to follow Solo, Jeff, and Abby's Mall if you're not following them already. Again, Jeff, you play on Facing the Encounter as your new channel name. And then Abby's Mall is MC Deck Discussions. So be sure to find them on their channels, Solo Marvel Champions channel.
What about Solo?
If you're not following, you're not in the know. And that stinks for you. So...
Wait,
All
so...
right.
Levi, when are you taking Solo's name from him?
When am I taking his name from him?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
What
working on
name
trying
is
to take the
that?
title of Solo Marvel Champion, right?
No. I'm not taking the title of Solo Marvel Champion. I'm Levi Lewis, the Marvel Champion, not Solo Marvel Champion. There's no name taking.
Okay.
I'll allow it. No name for you.
As
All
always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and do all of the fancy things. Levi Lewis would love to say something about leaving a review on Spotify.
If you want to email us, we are sidekickedamcp@gmail.com.
What does AMCP stand for, Levi?
I don't care.
It's
Now
it's a Marvel Champions podcast. AMCP stands for a Marvel Champions podcast.
It's
So
not
it's-
a muddy cheese product.
It's not a muddy cheese product. It's a Marvel Champions. How do you come up with these every time, man? It's a new one every single time. I'm
You're
impressed.
welcome. I gotta keep it fresh.
I'd rather have muddy than moldy cheese, I think.
Oh, I should have
That's what
said
you're thinking cheese
moldy!
too, right? Yeah, me too. I was thinking like
You know what to say for next
Montgomery
time.
or
Well, the
Monterey
first time-
cheddar.
The first time you said it, I thought you said moldy, and then he said muddy. I'm like, oh, he did say muddy. I'm like, why
thought-
mud? Make it moldy.
I'm glad I wasn't the only one that was thinking cheese, because I was thinking like Monterey or some cheddar or pepper jack. Provolone.
There you go. There you go.
There you go.
Pepperoni.
I think I'm going to make a
That's
sandwich.
a pretty muddy cheese project there.
Anyways,
Oh my gosh.
as always, I've been Earth Twister. Stay twisty.
You've been Earth Twister, or you are Earth Twister?
As always, I've been.
Well, everybody, as
Levi.
always, I've been solo, but I am married, so I'm not technically solo.
I'm Levi Lewis. Letitia Wright, go out with me.
I don't even know what that means.
Jeff, I don't know if you have a regular sign-off. This is where we do our regular sign-offs. They've already jumped into them, so as mine is always, my name is Jason Sketch, and next time I'll be deadly serious next time. Peace.
And my name is Jeff, and I love Facing the Encounter. He told me I'm good on Captain America for a little bit.
He can do this all day, guys.
Sure can.